one of us is aware that we had an election 5, 6 days ago. I don't know how we know that. And it is not my intention to talk about the election today. Are you okay with that? Right? I mean, I've had election up to beyond, and it continues. However, that's not the subject of today. However, in today's talk, you may be able to reference some of the things that you may be experiencing to what is being shared from the lessons and teachings from Gabrielle Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back, Transform Fear to Faith. We've been studying this, and I think we're in week 5. Are we in week 5? 5 or 6? 5. 6. It's, either or. But it's been a practice. And by the way, I am having an opportunity for people to share about any feelings, anything that has come up for the election, because I think it's an important thing to have a safe place where you can just share what's in your heart and you can listen in your heart, because we have a variety of emotions, a variety of opinions, and it is just a place where I want you to feel free without having judgment. We're here just to be there, to listen, to understand, to offer our hearts to one another and give ourselves to love. So that is an opportunity you have today at 12:30. So enough said about all that. So who can tell me what the main focus is in The Universe Has Your Back? If somebody could just, I know if I'll probably get 20, 30 people saying something at the same time, but what is the main focus of this? Nobody's going to say anything now. Choose love. Choose love. Bing. She's in my study group. I kind of didn't. I kind of expected Ellie might say. So what is it that we have to get beyond? And what she says about what is the one thing that blocks us? You got it. Okay. It is about the fear. And fear and our thoughts and beliefs about separation. So I'm going to share one of the things, and a few things from her book today. She says, am I on the right page? Yes, I am. So she says, every exercise in this book, and if you don't have this book, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. We have a few in our bookstore, and we have some on bookshop.org, which you can also purchase. But this is one of the most powerful books and has really anchored me and those people that are taking the little Soul Circle study groups. So every exercise has helped us to remind us of who we truly are, which is we are the loving energy of the universe. Fear and separation are a pattern that must be interrupted on a moment-to-moment basis. When we fully commit to shift the pattern through prayer and meditation, we begin to rely on love more than fear. Love becomes our default, and we can redirect our thoughts and energy quickly to return to our truth. It's about releasing the falseness of the world and remembering the truth, which is love. Don't judge your path. Don't try to be perfect. Just focus on your commitment to tuning in to the frequency of the universe, which is love. Now, there's a lot of things in the world that want to pull us away. There's a lot of fear running around our world, has been for eons, and especially in the election, and there was fear, and there's still fear, and it's like, it's so tempting to get into fear. I have to keep, and we're going to go into fear. That's normal. It's like, how long do you stay there? How quickly do you come back? That is what our goal is in this life. The way to knowing your truth is to allow the voice of love to echo through every single thought you have. I'm going for that. It's like, okay, God, you better, take every thought. It's all loving energy. Even when you detour into fear, which will you do all day long, commit to the voice of love. The moment you witness, you've chosen wrongly. You've drifted into that fear bunny, and sometimes the fear dragons that are trying to get you off center. Don't tolerate the fearful wanderings of your mind any longer. Make love your priority. Breathe that. I want you to say, I'm making love my priority. I'm making love my priority. Today and always. Today and always. Okay, I heard you. I got you. We got you taped. Conscious contact with love interrupts the pattern of fear and returns us to our true nature. When you are in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. I like that. Peace cannot be disrupted when I'm in the energy, synchronicity, aligned with the love of the universe. That's why I want to keep coming back. Love is all there is. No person, situation, or circumstance can take away your peace of mind. This isn't an easy concept to grasp because we believe so deeply in fear and separation. Yes, we've been conditioned in a world that is fear-based. And my job and yours, if we choose to take it on, is to go, no, that is not who I was born to be. You were born as pure love. Babies are not believing in separation. They're all about love and connection. They don't know anything else, but we've been conditioned. So I'm reconditioning my mind and my focus and my thoughts. That I have control over. I don't have control over what's going on out there in the world, but I have control of what goes on in here. We believe we can be harmed, and we protect ourselves at all costs. So when you're believing that you could be hurt, we protect. That's natural. At the level of the mind, we can never be harmed because in any moment we can, Ellie says, choose love. We are all connected in that we all have the same problem and the same solution. Our problem is that we detour into fear and believe that we are separate and unsafe in our world. While we all have the same problem, we all have the same solution. The solution lies in the decision. I'm going to decide to love, making the decision part of my mind to choose love and accept the truth right now that you are the love of the universe. You are the love of the universe. You are the love of the universe. You're the loving energy of the universe. Now, and this chapter is entitled, You Are the Universe. Okay, you are the universe. That sounds like a pretty big thing. How many of you can really wrap your mind around the fact that, and say, I am the universe? When you say, I am the universe, can you go there? Most likely not. That sounds like, what? Yes. So here's the thing, the universe. She's saying you are the universe, and I'm like, that sounds like a pretty big ticket for me to feel into. However, I want to get into the idea that in unity, we teach. Yes, we teach. And we have 5 basic principles. And the first one, most of you might know, is God is all there is. God is. God is. God is. Very good. Okay, you got principle number 1. Now, God is all there is. Therefore, principle number 2 is that I am God. You were very quiet with that one. I am God. Yeah. Who wants to take that on and say, I am God, right? It's like, that sounds like too much responsibility, and I'm not sure that being that. Now, what if we look at, well, what is God? We're saying God is all there is, and we're saying that we are God beings. So what is God? How do we define what God is? I'm going to say that ultimately God is love. Do you agree with that? It's not the human love that has conditions. It's the unconditional, I can't do anything but be love. I can't judge you. I can only love you. No matter what you're doing, how you're being, but God is just, I love. Whether you're being a weirdo or mean or happy, whatever you're being, God is love. It can't do anything else. So, we agree that love is love. Love is love. Yes, love is love. God is love. So what if we said, love, principle number one, we're going to put the word love in for God. Love is all there is, which is the first song we sang today. Love, there's only love. Love is all there is. Now, it gets tricky again, doesn't it? Because if love is all there is, do you have a challenge finding and believing that love is all there is when there's violence, there's war, there's meanness, people hurting? I mean, how do you reconcile love, God, is all there is when that's there? Is this hard for you, challenging? I mean, how do you go, that's God too? Okay, this is where you're going. We're going deep today, because we want to move off of the surface of the world that is taking us somewhere else. So you're meant to be here today. So this is when we get to move from the horizontal duality line of life, where there's good, there's bad, there's light, there's dark, there's life, there's death, there's up, there's down, okay? We live in a duality world where it's either or. However, we're going to take this vertical line, this horizontal line, and we're going to flip it vertical. This is core in how do we wrap our mind about this thing called love is all there is, because it doesn't seem that way. So when we have a vertical line, let's call that line, that's the love line, okay? It's a continuum. It's where there's degrees of love. At the very top of this energy, because everything is vibrational, everything is energy, the highest vibration in life, because everything is vibrating, everything is moving at the most basic level. Highest level on that line is unconditional love. Unconditional love. However, there's degrees of love. And at the very bottom, there is fear. Fear is actually an aspect of love. I heard that this year and I went, oh, because we don't think of fear as being love. But I see the truth in that. At the bottom of this line of love, fear is actually an aspect of love. Are you with me so far? So here's the thing. Course in Miracles teaches that we're either coming from love or there's a call for love. Those that are in the lower vibrations of anger, of hurt, of feeling separated, feeling lonely, feeling guilt, feeling ashamed, feeling anything other than peace and love and joyfulness on the upper levels, that's a call for love. Does this make sense? Okay, so you can see that this is a continuum. It's not either or. So when there's somebody who's in fear, when I'm in fear, there's a call for love. And often people who are most afraid are trying to control life. They're trying to control things because they are frightened out of their minds. Bullies are actually, in their core, very afraid. Now, it's really hard to love a bully. Personally, because if somebody's being mean and hateful or cruel, and I'm like, I want to get away from them. I'm not wanting to love them. I'm wanting to hurt them back or protect myself because I'm afraid of them. So them being in their fear creates within me a fear of them, when now there's two people that are vibrating from calling for love. So this is where the spiritual warrior comes in. It's called, can you rise up, taking a breath and go, they're calling for love. Isn't that? Do I want to go to that level? Can I come to Here's where it goes to. For me, and Linda Morjani talks about in her book, Dying to Be Me, because she had a lymph node and she was passing and she was in a coma. But she realized that people who are hurting others are hurting themselves, and they're coming from fear. And her whole premise was they don't need more judgment, they need compassion. I actually feel for those people, anybody who is having meanness or trying to control. It's like, oh my gosh, you're like a little kid that is so afraid. And when somebody is afraid, a little kid is afraid, you don't judge them and put them down. You want to offer them love, whatever that looks like, right? It can just be sending you love. You don't have to be engaged with them, right? Okay, we're together? So coming from love or calling for love. So the question is, how can we move from fear? We want to shift from fear because we are going to be in it, and feelings of separation, and how to move from that on that vertical line up to more love, to be more love. Well, Gabrielle speaks of this, and she has a prayer that I think was pretty powerful, and it's the prayer, she calls it, for truth. Breathe. Close your eyes as I read this. I call on the energy of the universe to guide my thoughts back to love. I surrender my false perceptions. I forgive these thoughts, and I know that I am love. I am peace. I am compassion. I am the universe that is love. And so it is. This prayer, which is on page 148 when you get the book, or if you have the book, what if you read this every day? Would that maybe shift you? Prayer is the pathway of love, and it helps us move up that vertical line. When I recognize and use truth, truth is what sets us free. She also talks about meditation on oneness. So another meditation, and she has her own way of doing a meditation, but I'm going to give you a meditation, a short one here, just to feel what works for me. Maybe it'll work for you, or you have your own. So to connect with the universe. So again, closing your eyes, taking a breath, letting it go. And as you breathe in, say to yourself, I am. As you breathe out, say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, try it again. Well, you can try it. You could do it either way. It's the same thing. So breathing in, God is. Let it go, I am. Breathing in, God is. Breathing out, I am. And just continue. The God is and the I am. And now you can move to love is as you breathe in. I am. Love is. I am. Peace is. I am. Truth is. I am. Very good. This is the most simplest meditation. And when and I feel myself going off, even if I'm driving the car and all of a sudden somebody cuts me off, I start doing the God is, I am. When I go into fear, That's going to anchor me, bring me back. I want to keep things simple, something I can do anywhere, anytime. I can do it formally or informally. Anytime I start going off, I want to bring my back to center. Love is, and I am. This is how we shift. And so to affirm the truth, to meditate, to do prayer. But last but not least is I'd like you to consider you are not who you think you are. You're not who you think you are. Like, I see, what? You are not your past. You are not your gender. You are not the roles that you play. And now my question is, who would you be without your stories? We all have stories. Spirit asked me this a week ago. I'm driving my car, minding my own business, and the voice says, who would you be without your stories? I'm saying, excuse me? The voice within, why do we need, and it kept repeating. And then it said, who are you? Who are you without your stories? What? I want you to chew. I'm giving you stuff to chew on this week. When the universe the world wants to take you off, go, who am I without my stories, without my fear, without my this? Who am I? I'm giving you something else to contemplate instead of the other things that want to pull us off. So, what if I told you who you think you are isn't really who you are? I had an experience where I was in whatever it was a workshop type thing. And I got this voice in my head that says, there is no Liz. And it wouldn't shut up, and I couldn't even pay attention because the voice kept saying, there is no Liz. There is no Liz. There is no Liz. I'm like, you're driving. It wouldn't stop. And I'm like, well, then who is here? Right? And as it continued, what I got was, who is here is a God being that is expressing through the personality and body of Liz. See, we have this personality in this body in this experience, but you're actually spirit in an earth suit. You are the hands, the feet, the voice of spirit, of love on earth. And one of my teachers says that spirit is ever seeking a freer, fuller, more expanded expression of itself as you. Spirit is ever seeking a freer, fuller, more expansive expression of itself as you and as you. And when I got that, I was like, you mean this life isn't even my life? It switched everything. Your ego, there's no more ego. It's just, oh, Spirit, what kind of fun did you want to have by means of me today? Who did you want to meet by means of me today? It shifts everything because there's only the God self, and I call it the God self Liz love team. Many of you have heard me say that. There's the God self Alex love team, the God self Sandy love team, the God self Karen love team. See, it's a team because God's self always comes first. It is the life force that is breathing me and you. And then it's Liz, so God's self Liz. And then it has to be love, and it's a team. It needs me and it needs you to be its love on earth. I need it because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, right? And it's about this expression of God as me and as you. Talk about a shift. This is a major shift, correct? Today's talk title is called The Shift. So how many of you like to plan things? Yeah, right? Schedule things. How many of you like to have control in your relationships? How many of you like to have control of your finances? Yeah, this is what we learn to, and we feel secure. Well, here's the truth. We can't really control things except what's in here. What if you said, this is not my body, it's God's body. My relationships are God's relationships. My finances are God's finances. My work is God's work. My play is God's play. We need to shift our perception. And what that means is we need to surrender. Wasn't that a fun word? Who wants to surrender? But we have a different idea of what surrender is. For me, surrender means to trust. Trust. And those of you who have been around for a while know the acronym for trust that Spirit gave me is to rely upon Spirit totally. That is what surrender is. So she talks about in her book, she has a chapter called, When You Think You've Surrendered, Surrender More. Oh, that sounds like a fun chapter. However, it is actually a key. She talks about surrender is taking your hands off of the steering wheel, which is a quote from Gary Zukav. 162, she says, here's her prayer. Today, I surrender my goals and plans to the care of the universe. I offer my agenda and accept spiritual guidance. I trust that there is a plan far greater than mine. I know that where there was once lack and limitation, there are spiritual solutions and creative ideas. I step back and let love lead the way. Okay, this is a powerful book. She gets right to the heart of it. If you have this book, read it. Do these prayers. So she's like, let go. Let God. And the timing thing, we all want to have things in a certain amount of time. I want to have this. We have goals, right? You have goals. You want to have certain things by a certain time in your life. However, she says, surrender means to let go of your control of time, right? Because you want something to happen, but in a certain time frame, but you can't control it. What you can control, she says, is to surrender and be in the present moment. Just be in the present moment. And trust that the universe is taking care of things. There is a second acronym that a minister friend of mine has, totally relying upon Spirit's timing. Can you do that? Totally relying upon Spirit's timing. That's trust. To let go of knowing that your time reference isn't really the way of it. She talks about surrendering and giving up your goals and your attachment to outcomes. Attachment to outcomes, anybody? I'm like, yeah, we get attached to outcomes. That's part of the human nature. So she says, this book is so rich. She says, to feel free and surrendered, we must learn to release our attachments. Deepak Chopra says, when you're happy for some reason, you're still in misery because that reason can be taken away from you tomorrow. Instead of seeking some reason or outcome to make us happy, we must learn to trust in the universe and the wonders of the universe. Each day brings new miracles to celebrate. Each moment can be a miracle if we choose to perceive it that way. We talked about this last week. There's a book called Happy for No Reason. It's one of the best books ever. So it's about letting go. And she says, there's nothing wrong with visions and dreams as long as you're willing to surrender them. This is the key, one of my favorite lines. The key is to gently hold great visions and then release them to the universe. Again, the key is to gently hold great visions and then release them to the universe. Can you do that? Can you do that? Are you willing to give it a shot? Okay. So there's an acronym that Spirit gave me for shift, because it's all about the shift. Shift. The S stands for surrender. The H stands for humbly. The I stands for in. The F stands for full. And the T stands for trust. Surrender humbly in full trust. Surrender humbly in full trust. Please say that with me. Surrender humbly in full trust. Again, surrender humbly in full trust. And trust, again, is to rely upon Spirit totally and to rely totally on Spirit's timing. Surrender is many, many things. Many things. My friend Pauline Tedford, who is a practitioner, wrote in her article, surrender is letting go and letting God, allowing the universe to have its way with you. Okay. Surrender is freedom, peace, and joy. Surrender is giving up power and giving in to the power within. And surrender is an absolute safe choice. Surrender is all about giving up attachments and a giving in to the absolute power and presence that is always in charge. I have found that when I surrender to life and trust life, life trusts me. After I surrender, I lighten up, accept that all is taken care of and that it is. So again, closing your eyes. What are you afraid of? We all have fears. Think of something that you're afraid of. Now I want you to hold your hands in front of you as if you're hanging on to something, closed fists. And if you're ready to let go, on the count of 3, knowing that the universe is right here to take what you fear. So on the count of 3, opening our hands to let it go. 1, 2, 3. Open your hands, keep your eyes closed. Breathe. Imagine that it's taken care of. It's taken care of. Everything is being taken care of. What do you feel? What do you feel? Do this practice. Feel the feelings of it's done, it's taken care of, I don't have to hold it anymore. We're free because we are love and we are loved by the universe. And so we let it be, and so it is. So let's let go. Let go, and let's let God. And so it is.